Ever wondered what lies beyond the realm of the living? What eerie secrets and ghostly apparitions lurk within the decaying walls of abandoned asylums? Today, we embark on a journey through the top 10 haunted asylums, with dark pasts you dare not visit. But before watching the video, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Now, let's dive in. Kicking off our list at number 10 is Hillcrest Sanatorium, situated in the misty hills of Hillcrest, California. Once hailed as a beacon of hope for tuberculosis patients in the early 20th century, Hillcrest's halls now stand abandoned, their walls bearing witness to the suffering and despair of those who succumbed to the disease within its confines. Visitors have reported hearing coughing and whispers echoing through its empty corridors, as if the ghosts of the past still linger, seeking solace in their final resting place. Some claim to have seen apparitions of nurses moving swiftly through the hallways, tending to patients who no longer inhabit the physical realm. Moving on to number 9, we find ourselves in Danvers, Massachusetts, home to the infamous Danvers State Hospital. Built in the late 19th century, this imposing Kirkbride psychiatric hospital housed thousands of patients over the years, its overcrowded wards and controversial treatments shrouding it in a cloak of darkness. Shadowy figures are said to roam its abandoned halls, their tortured souls trapped between the realms of the living and the dead, forever searching for release from their torment. Visitors have reported sudden drops in temperature and inexplicable gusts of wind, as if unseen forces are trying to make their presence known. Number 8 brings us to St. Agnes Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. Established in the early 20th century, this once thriving medical facility fell into disrepair over the years, its abandoned halls now serving as a grim reminder of the suffering endured by countless patients who were left to languish in neglect. Visitors have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of sadness and despair upon entering the building, as if the very walls themselves are crying out in anguish for the injustices that occurred within their confines. Some claim to have heard disembodied voices pleading for help, their cries echoing through the empty corridors long after the last patient has departed. At number 7, we venture to Rolling Hills Asylum in East Bethany, New York. Originally built as a poorhouse in the 19th century, this sprawling complex later became a refuge for the mentally ill, its labyrinthine corridors said to be haunted by the spirits of those who died within its walls. Ghostly apparitions have been sighted wandering the grounds, their mournful cries echoing through the night as they search for peace in a world that has long forgotten them. Some visitors have reported feeling a sense of unease and oppression, as if unseen eyes are watching their every move, waiting for the perfect moment to make their presence known. Number 6 transports us to Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Louisville, Kentucky. Constructed in the early 20th century to combat the scourge of tuberculosis, this massive sanatorium is infamous for its body chute, a tunnel used to discreetly remove the bodies of deceased patients, earning it a reputation as one of the most haunted places in America. Visitors have reported encounters with shadowy figures lurking in the darkness, their eyes glowing with malevolent intent as they watch from the shadows, waiting for unsuspecting prey to cross their path. Some have experienced sudden feelings of dread and despair, as if the very air itself is heavy with the weight of the suffering that took place within these walls. Halfway through our list at number 5 is the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in Weston, West Virginia. Built in the mid-19th century to house the mentally ill, this Gothic-style institution operated for over a century, its dark history marred by reports of abuse, neglect, and untimely deaths. Visitors have experienced chilling encounters with disembodied voices and phantom footsteps echoing through its empty halls, as if the tormented souls of its former patients refuse to be forgotten. Some have reported feeling sudden waves of nausea and dizziness, as if the very atmosphere is poisoned by the lingering pain and suffering of those who once called this place home. Number 4 takes us across the pond to Whittingham Hospital in Whittingham, England. Opened in the early 20th century as a mental institution, this sprawling complex was once the largest psychiatric hospital in the UK, its crumbling ruins now standing as a haunting reminder of the suffering endured by its patients. Visitors have reported feeling an oppressive atmosphere weighing down upon them as they explore its dilapidated wards, as if the very air itself is heavy with the weight of sorrow and despair. Some have claimed to hear the faint sounds of music and laughter emanating from the abandoned halls, as if the ghosts of happier times are trying to break through the veil of darkness that shrouds this place. Coming in at number 3 is Forest Haven Asylum in Laurel, Maryland. Established in the mid-20th century as a residential facility for the intellectually disabled, this institution was plagued by reports of overcrowding, understaffing, and substandard conditions, leading to its closure in the 1990s and leaving behind a legacy of neglect and abuse. Visitors have described feeling a sense of unease and dread as they wander through its abandoned buildings, as if the spirits of its former residents are still trapped within its walls, yearning for justice and redemption. Some have reported encountering strange orbs of light and eerie whispers in the darkness, as if the very essence of the asylum itself is trying to communicate with the living world. Number 2 leads us to Hellingly Hospital in Hellingly, England. Built in the late 19th century as an asylum for the mentally ill, this imposing Victorian-era structure was known for its experimental treatments and harsh living conditions, its abandoned wards now echoing with the tortured cries of those who once called it home. Visitors have reported sightings of ghostly figures wandering the grounds, their hollow eyes staring out from sunken faces as they reach out in silent desperation, pleading for release from their eternal torment. Some have claimed to feel icy fingers brush against their skin and heard disembodied voices whispering in their ears, as if the spirits of the asylum's former patients are trying to make contact with the world of the living. And finally, claiming the top spot at number 1 is Pennhurst State School and Hospital in Spring City, Pennsylvania. Opened in the early 20th century as a state-funded institution for the intellectually and developmentally disabled, Pennhurst quickly became overcrowded and understaffed, leading to widespread reports of abuse, neglect, and mistreatment. Its closure in the 1980s did little to erase the horrors that occurred within its walls. Visitors brave enough to step onto its grounds report chilling encounters with apparitions of tormented souls, their anguished cries echoing through the night as a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks within the human soul. Some have even claimed to feel unseen hands brush against their skin and heard whispered pleas for help in the stillness of the air. Pennhurst State School and Hospital stands as a haunting testament to the failings of humanity and the enduring legacy of pain and suffering. As we conclude our journey through these haunted asylums, we encourage you to engage with us. If you found this journey into darkness intriguing, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more spine-tingling adventures. Until next time, may you navigate the darkness with courage.